Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So Social Security payments are going to be increasing for everyone starting on December 29th and for most people after the 1st of January. So while that's great and all, we actually have three huge problems that go along with this increase. So we're going to be going over what those three problems are and perhaps some potential fixes to those issues. Plus, we have some new polls, which really gives a pretty good insight on who is going to win the 2024 election, and perhaps even by a landslide. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive at least $60 or more in free stocks or $60 or more in free cash, in a pinned comment below as well as in the description box, I will be leaving a link to Webull. And with Webull, all you got to do is open up an account and then deposit at least 1 penny. Once you do so, they're going to send you 20 stocks for free. Each stock is going to be worth at least $3. Now, if you don't want to invest at this point in time and you would rather just have the cash, all you have to do, once you receive those 20 free stocks, you just have to sell them. At that point, you're going to receive the $60 or more in value, and then you just simply transfer that cash right back to your checking account. So whether you want the stocks to invest or whether you just rather have some free cash right before the holiday season, completely up to you. But diving right into the main content of today's video, first off, we're going to be talking about a Trump speech where he actually said that under Joe Biden, the American dream is officially dead. So, according to The Hill, at a campaign rally in Durham, New Hampshire, former President Trump said under the Biden administration that, quote, the American dream is dead in his latest remarks against Biden. Joe Biden and the Democratic Party are incapable of solving any problem. They haven't solved anything, they've only created problems. As long as Joe Biden is in the White House, the American dream is dead. Trump continues saying things will change the minute polls close next November because he will win again and that, quote, crooked Joe Biden would be gone. The former president predicted that it would be a, quote, historic victory by Christmas of next year. He then said the economy would be roaring back, energy prices would plummet, and the hordes of migrants crossing the border will have ended, which earned him cheers and applause. So let me know in the comment section below, do you believe that the American dream is dead under Joe Biden? And do you think it's going to improve under Trump? How has inflation impacted you? Do you have confidence that under Trump, the economy is going to get a little better? We're going to see gas prices once again below the $2 mark. Let me know what your thoughts in comments are below. Now, Trump may actually be right about that, quote, historic victory coming next year in November, because we actually have some new polls coming out that shows that not only will Trump win the next election if everything holds steady, but he may actually win by a landslide. So we have some polls here. Recent polls show former President Trump leading President Biden in key swing states that will likely decide the 2024 election, indicating Trump is not just the overwhelming favorite to secure the GOP nomination, but is in a strong position to recapture the White House less than a year before Election Day. Trump leads Biden in hypothetical matchups, both with and without third-party options on the ballot in states, including Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, according to fresh polling. Biden carried each of those states in 2020, and Trump will need to flip at least a few of those states if he is to win in 2024. A CNN poll released this week showed Trump leading Biden by 5 percentage points in Georgia, a state Biden carried in 2020 by roughly 12,000 votes. The poll also found Trump leading Biden by 10 points in Michigan, where Biden won by about 155,000 votes in 2020. Furthermore, a Bloomberg News/Morning Consult poll released this week had similarly sour results for Biden. That survey found Biden trailing Trump in several crucial swing states by 11 points in North Carolina, by 7 points in Georgia, by 6 points in Wisconsin, by 5 points in Nevada, by 4 points in Michigan, and by 3 points in Arizona. So those are not only huge victories for Trump winning those swing states that Biden actually won in 2020, but the margin of victory there, at least as far as the polling goes, shows that Trump is winning by a pretty big margin. I'm not sure if that's more of a reflection of Trump, more of a reflection of Biden, or people kind of having 4 years of Trump, 4 years of Biden, and comparing the two and saying, hey, I think our life was a lot better under Trump therefore, if it is Biden versus Trump, we're definitely voting for Trump. And yeah, it looks like Trump is, at this point in time, if those polls are right, it looks like Trump is not only going to win, but he's going to win by a landslide. And for Biden, it doesn't seem like he really has too many states that he's going to win, other than those really deep blue states such as California and perhaps New York. Now, in some other news, of course, we have some increased payments coming up for Social Security beneficiaries. No, it's nothing that lawmakers did in D.C. to give you a raise or anything like that. That is simply because of the cost of living adjustment, which this year is going to be 3.2%. So you can look for your payments to be right around 3% higher. However, with these increased payments, of course, there are also 3 issues that come with them as well, and we're going to be covering that right now. So according to the Motley Fool, the first key issue that we're going to be going over is that Social Security wasn't designed to fully fund retirement. They say the federal program on average replaces around 40% of individuals' annual pre-retirement earnings. However, many Americans retire without saving enough to cover all of their cost of living beyond what Social Security covers, especially with inflation eroding the buying power of their retirement accounts over time. It's smart for anyone who hasn't retired yet to save as much as possible in IRAs and 401k plans to supplement Social Security, but for those who have already retired, it can be too late to make up for not saving enough earlier in their careers. And they're exactly right there, with the average payment for Social Security retirees being right around $1,800. It's really hard to find a rental that's even going to cover that amount, especially, in bigger cities. So obviously the Social Security isn't exactly a good retirement. You definitely need some other things to supplement that, or at least work on a part-time basis. They go on to say that the second concern is that COLAs come after Social Security recipients have already incurred higher costs. For example, the hefty 8.7% increase in benefits for 2023 arrived too late to help seniors pay the higher bills that they encountered in 2022. They're exactly right there, because prices were just skyrocketing in 2022, yet they didn't actually receive the increase until 2023. So the help there was basically too late. Constantly playing this game of catch up, especially when inflation has been as high as it has been. Now, the third issue they go on to say is that some experts don't believe that the inflation metric currently used to calculate Social Security COLAs, the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, fully reflects the higher cost experienced by seniors. In particular, they don't think the CPIW adequately addresses seniors' rising health care costs. And they actually have another metric out there. It's called the CPIE, the Consumer Price Index for the elderly. They're perhaps looking at changing it to that. On an average basis, if we look year to year, the CPIE is usually a little bit higher because it reflects things that seniors usually pay for, such as healthcare costs. And really, of course, inflation can be sort of rigged by the government to make it seem like it's not as bad as it actually has been. Since the 80s, they've changed like the basket of goods and services that they use to make it seem like inflation has actually been less. And we have seen charts in the past where if we use the same basket of goods and services that they've used during the 80s as we do now, inflation is actually a good bit higher than the 3.2% number that the government is trying to tell us. They go on to say that seniors' dissatisfaction runs even deeper, and that advocates also discovered that seniors' dissatisfaction with Social Security runs even deeper than the insufficient COLAs. Nearly half of respondents, at 48%, stated that they weren't confident that Social Security would provide for their long-term needs. There's a big worry about the program's future, with 61% expressing concerns about Social Security's solvency and long-term sustainability. Social Security is indeed headed for insolvency if nothing is done. The program's 2 trust funds will run out of money by 2033 without major reforms, according to the Congressional Budget Office. At that point, benefits would have to be slashed by 25%. So I ask you, and leave your comment below in the comment section below, do you have confidence in the Social Security program that they're going to solve this, that your benefits won't be cut by 25%? And I also ask you, hypothetically, if the benefits were going to be cut next month by 25%, do you have a plan in place to replace the income? How are you going to deal with that? But that's all we have for today's video. Certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.